Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our X39 Stem Cell Activating podcast. It is all about stem cells and how to get them activated. So good afternoon, good evening, and welcome. Today, I'm your host, Kathaleen Nichols, along with my lovely other host, Wendy Morgan. And so we do this every Tuesday, and we're so glad to have you guys on and gals. And I just really want to give a warm welcome to whoever is new this evening. You're going to be in for a real treat. You're going to learn about a revolutionary light therapy technology. So just turn around and give that person who invited you a big high five and love you bunches, because they absolutely care about you and care about your health. So welcome, welcome. In the next 30 minutes, you're going to hear from two lovely people telling their stories on X39, right? What was their life like before and what's their life like now? And they're just raw, authentic stories. So I hope you enjoy their testimonials. And Wendy will be interviewing them, and then she'll pass it back to me. And I'll tell you about how this patch works and how you can get your hands on it. So that's kind of like the rundown for the next 30 minutes. First of all, though, I'm just going to introduce our amazing inventor, owner, and founder, David Schmidt. He is the CEO. We are privately owned, so he calls all the shots. And I'm telling you, he is heart-centered, and he is all about helping humanity live their best, healthy lives and heal the planet. So we have an amazing CEO running our ship, steering our ship. So he is a scientist. He's also a visionary, and he actually saw about 10 years ago the future of medicine, and he realized that it was, of course, in regenerative medicine. So at that point, he spent millions of dollars in research, and he developed and discovered how to reset, how to activate, and how to produce new stem cells through light therapy. And this is really, really exciting. But before we jump into hearing about people's results, I'm just going to tell you our medical disclaimer, okay? Although we do have many, many doctors on our team, we do need to tell you that the information discussed here is not meant to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. And if you're pregnant or nursing, please get with your physician to consult him. Basically, our patches are giving your body what it needs to heal itself and come back into balance. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to the lovely Wendy Morgan so she can do our two interviews. Wendy?
Hi, thank you so much, Kathaleen. So welcome everybody to our Tuesday Patching podcast. Tonight we have two lovely ladies, and we're going to actually start out with Gloria. Gloria, can you unmute yourself and say hello?
Close ties to communist China, the government as well.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. So everyone, Gloria, she is 29 years young. And remind me, Gloria, where are you from?
I'm from Oregon.
That's right. Yeah. And who basically introduced you to the patches?
My sister did.
Ah, what a good sis. And how long have you been on the patches?
2 weeks now.
2 weeks. Okay, great. So I'm going to kind of help you out because there's kind of a lot to cover. So today when speaking with Gloria, she kind of expressed to me that she has been experiencing residual issues from a concussion and brain trauma from when she was a child, and also was re-aggravated about a few years ago. Wasn't that correct, Gloria?
Correct, yes.
So if you could tell everybody, what were the things that you were experiencing prior to the X39, and how have those things changed for you?
PTSD, high anxiety. It was very hard for me to socialize and engage with other people. Sometimes I would stutter depending on how bad the trigger was. A lot of memory loss, as well as fatigue, and sometimes borderline blacking out.
Wow, that's really hard to live with, in truth, isn't it? Because you can't really rely that your body's going to do what you need it to do.
Right.
Right. So how those specific things, how have they improved?
They really have, and I absolutely love it. I went to a wedding last week, and it meant so much to not have the issues with speaking, being able to engage and mingle and just feel like I was in a state of flow versus hyperactivity or fight or flight. So that was just huge. Being able to sleep is another one. and just having my energy back without feeling my adrenals constantly pumping.
Yeah, I have a child who was originally hypersensitive prior to the patches, and it does definitely limit your time with society.
It does.
And I bet that was really a lot of fun to stick around and enjoy the wedding.
It was.
That's excellent. Now, along with that, you also, I remember you said something about your balance, your actual physical balance was sometimes off.
Right. Yes. I kept tensing, especially in my upper back, my left side, as well as just walking correctly. Just a lot of stored pain in my pelvis, as well as upper back, and wrists and hands. That is drastically improved. I've put patches, let's see, the back of my neck and lower back. So when I do yoga and work out, it just makes me so excited to be able to work my legs and my lower core without feeling a pain, like a weird knot. I used to feel like there was a weird knot in my pelvis, and that's drastically improved now. It feels like it's almost gone. So pretty excited about that.
That is really excellent, because I remember you said it was kind of like rigid how you moved, and now you basically you're more fluid in your movement.
It's like my brain isn't missing the signals to my body. I feel more at ease with doing what I need to do without trying to protect myself. And there's no reason for me. I'm perfectly safe.
That is beautiful. Now, along with that, you also mentioned about your memory. How was that prior hand?
It was horrible. And that really, really bothered me. Just forgetting basic dates, birthdays, and even just counting money. And I work with the register, so I need to be able to do that. And that's drastically improved. I can do it fluidly, count back the change backwards at my job, and be able to remember birthdays.
Woo-hoo! That's so exciting. So
Yeah.
everybody, Gail and I, or Gloria and I talked yesterday, and all the things that she just mentioned, balance, hypersensitivity, sleep, poor memory, all that has improved. She said 60% in just 2 weeks. That is unbelievable. So let's move on. Now, before, you also mentioned that you, with the previous, injuries and whatnot, you didn't really feel cohesive or safe in your environment.
Right.
Then that has improved as well?
It really has. It starts with the body. I really feel like it starts with the body, and I feel like I'm way more inside my body enough to know what's going on. I don't feel like I need to leave. So I'm right here, right now in the moment. And I feel much more at ease doing what I need to do around the house without fatiguing out. I know I'm safe. I know I can handle what's going on in my environment. And if not, I feel safe and secure enough to grab a neighbor or a buddy versus, sweaty palms. Oh my gosh, should I ask?
Yeah, and just kind of feeling uncomfortable basically altogether. Okay, while she's kind of coming in and out. So basically, feeling cohesive, feeling cohesive and safe in her environment. She said that has improved about 70%. You kind of were stepping out there a little bit, Gloria, so that's why I kind of stepped in. You back with us? Let's give her a few seconds. So next we're going to bring up is her, she had pain in her pelvic and her tailbone. Hopefully she'll be able to jump on in a few seconds. If not, we'll go on to our next testimony and come back to Gloria. All right. So we're probably going to get a hiccup when she comes back and in that transition. But in the meantime, we're going to step over to our second person, which is Beamy. Beamy, are you here? Could you unmute yourself?
I'm here.
Excellent. So Beamy, guys, I want to go ahead and this is my fun point. So Beamy is 72 years young. Oh, wait a minute. Is that real? You're going to hear more about that in a second. Beamy, if you could tell people a little bit about yourself. How long have you been using the LifeWave system?
Okay, thank you. And that was great, Gloria. I can't wait to hear the rest of your testimonial. That was really amazing results. So, well, I've been in the health field for over 40 years, so I'm very much on top of doing things ahead of time, preventative. I've always really been in pretty good shape. I exercise, I work out in different ways, and I meditate, I eat all organic. So I'm doing a lot of things to support my health and supplementation like that. And I thought, well, when I was told about it, because I'm in the older part of my life, I was already investigating stem cells because I like to do things that help keep you, ahead of the curve. And I knew the power of stem cells. So when my friend Bart told me about this, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. The body makes its own. And so I did some research because that's what I do. And it took me a while because I was busy doing something else, but I finally got started and I didn't know what to expect because, like I said, I was pretty healthy, but everybody has issues, right? So I had, my digestion had been really, really lacking and not able to process foods for everything that I was doing. The way that my digestion worked was like it didn't work. So I was on enzymes probably for 20 years, taking them 3 times a day. I was taking
her life for her testimonies.
Taking HCl, something for digesting fats. And so 3 times a day. If I didn't do that, I would get bloated and gaseous. And it was I felt really sluggish and it was a real drain on my system. So when I started the X39, within 2 weeks, I was completely off all enzymes. So that was phenomenal. And I could tell the difference in my system. It had been so long, it was like I had more energy. I felt my metabolism was working quicker. I didn't have that sluggish, after you eat kind of feeling. And so that was a huge change for me. And then the next thing that I started to notice was that my skin started to hydrate and get smoother. And of course, that was something I was looking for because, as I mentioned, being older. So I'm going to share with you something that's going to be pretty mind-blowing about an actual test that I had done. So I go to this naturopath and he does a biological cellular testing to see what your inner age is compared to your outer age. So the last time that I saw him was right before COVID, and I was 70 at the time. And when he did the testing, it showed that I was 60 in my cellular biological makeup. And I thought, well, that's pretty good. I mean, that's 10 years younger than what I was. So I recently went back this past summer, and that's 2 years later. So now I'm 72, and he's doing this testing, and he looks at these markers and he goes, his eyes are like, what are you doing? And I said, what? And he goes, it's showing that you're between 35 and 40 years old. In your cellular makeup. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is like the fountain of youth. I couldn't believe that it was showing up like that. I had no expectations. So that was pretty miraculous. And then there was another test that he does that I always get done, and that's on heavy metals and toxins, because, we've always got to be detoxing. It's a big part of my protocol. And usually what shows up is anywhere from 8 to 10. They vary each time. And so he gives me little homeopathy things to take to clear my system. This time he tested, and he tested again, and he tested 3 times, and there were nothing showing up. The regular heavy metals that came, the toxicity, it was like a clear report. And he was like stunned. So those were like really profound results for me, and that were demonstratable. So that made me like even more super excited. So this is after, I would say, being on the X39 for about a year, because that was this summer and I'd already been on it a year. Then another result that I had is going to the dentist, and you've heard some of these testimonials before. Well, I had, my dentist is always telling me, you need to get some gum work done. Your pockets are a 5 or a 6, you know, they're going to get worse. You need to do this and that. And I know it was very painful. I didn't want to do it. You've got to get numbed out, all this stuff. So when I went this last time, which was about 6 months ago, again, about a year on the patch, almost a year and a half now, the pockets were down to 2 and 3. So he was like, what are you doing? And I told him what it was, and he couldn't quite get his head around it. But another demonstrable proof, which for me, I love tracking results like this when you actually have a before and after. So that was phenomenal. And one more thing that it was really kind of odd. I've had this kind of place on my left shoulder for, I don't know, 15 years that was numb. And I don't know what it was from, and it didn't really bother me. I just learned to live with it. But one day, all of a sudden, my shoulder's like lighting up. It's all tingling. And I'm reaching back there to see what's, you know, going on. And like all the feeling is back. So the neuropathy was gone, and I got my feeling back.
That is amazing, Beamy. I mean, the cellular biomarkers, that in itself, I mean, already when you get off, please go into the chat. Everybody's wondering what test you're getting, because they would love to go and, you know, possibly do that for themselves. Okay. But amazing testimony. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, up to date, you've been on the patch for a little over 2 years?
Yes. No, yeah, it's going to be 2 years coming in February.
Okay. So almost 2 years. Amazing. So, wow. Thank you so much for sharing your testimony, Beamy. I really appreciate you coming on, and we all love you and we all know you, and really like to hear all these updates. It's really good to hear. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And so we're going to quickly go back to Gloria. Are you on here? If you could unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. So let's quickly kind of jump back in. So you had back pain and tailbone pain that was roughly 6 out of 10 before. How is that coming along now?
It's way better. I barely even feel where that bump was, and I'm able to do yoga on my back. Just night and day difference. Lift, move, do what I need to do.
That is beautiful. And last one, because there's so much going on, but we do have to hand this back to Kathaleen soon. And you also said that you had anxiety before, because I know a lot of people really are troubled with anxiety. What was that before, and how is that now?
It was very hard. Just my heart would palpitate, my hands would sweat, and I wouldn't want to go anywhere where there was a trigger. So I isolated.
Oh, poor Gloria.
It's gone. It's as if I can walk into stores and just enjoy it. Basic things, just like that, taking a walk and getting out with people.
That is awesome. So percentage wise, I think I wrote down here that you had about 90% improvement in your anxiety.
Oh, yep. Yes.
That's totally fine. That's totally fine. That is excellent. Well, thank you. And this is only 2 weeks, guys, with Gloria. So Gloria, we would love to have you back in about 2 or 3 months, because I know so much more is going to evolve for you. Would that be okay?
Yes, absolutely. I'm excited. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on, both Gloria and Beamy. We both appreciate hearing from the both of you. For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, we're going to hand this back over to Kathaleen so she can tell you all exactly what this little X39 patch is about. Kathaleen?
Thank you so much, Wendy. Wow, I love that we have Gloria at 2 weeks and Beamy at almost 2 years. And you can see the span of, you know, shifting and healing and repairing and regenerating that this patch can afford your body. Her memory, her balance, her pain, her anxiety, and Beamy's biological age. That is absolutely remarkable. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about this little patch. It's wafer thin. It looks like about the size of a quarter, and it's our X39 stem cell activating patch. It comes in a pack like this. You get a month's supply, and there's 30 patches in a month's supply. So that means that you wear 1 patch a day for 12 hours on, and then you take it off and you throw it away and you leave it off for 12 hours. and then you repeat it the next day. So fantastic. But how does this actually work? How are Beamy and Gloria getting these amazing results? Well, there's no ingredients in the patch at all. It's non-transdermal, which means nothing goes into your body. It's non-invasive. But what is going on is there is a substrate that's in that patch, and it's actually made out of organic amino acids, salt crystals, sugar crystals, and water. And those form a crystal lattice. And when they form that crystal lattice and you put the patch on, basically your body heat, which is on the light spectrum, it's infrared light, is going to be reflected from the patch back into your body. At that point, your body is being stimulated to produce GHK copper peptide. And you can actually go on reverseagingghk.com, and you'll find 30 years of research that is just talking about all the benefits of GHK copper peptide. So I'll just mention a few right here. It's a master signaling molecule. It resets over 4,000 genes within the first 24 hours of wearing the patch. That GHK is doing that. That's going to affect another set and yet another set. And it repairs DNA. Does all kinds of stuff. It keeps you young, it keeps you vital, it keeps you, playing with your grandchildren or just, dancing till 3 in the morning. It does all these things. The other thing it does when it's elevated is it actually produces new stem cells. So you guys all probably know what stem cells are, but they're really so critical. They are the foundation, the blueprint, the template of our body. It's really what was going on when you were in your mama's belly. Those stem cells differentiated into all of your organs, your tissues, your cells, your brain, your spinal cord, etc. So they really are that building block. And so the cool thing about the ones that are being elevated when you're wearing the patch is that they're blank, and that's actually called pluripotent. And what that means is they have the ability to turn into whatever your body needs. So for example, we all have different things going on. Gloria had different things than me, right? And so everybody comes to the table with their own list of what's going on with their body. And then those pluripotent stem cells, they have that innate intelligence, the same intelligence that created your body, and they know exactly what your body needs. And so they're going to scan your body and just start turning into whatever it needs and clicking off that list. So we don't know what it'll do for you first, but what we do know is with that first patch, you're already getting, like I said, 4,000 and then 4,000 genes back to younger expression, and then they're affecting another set and another set. In effect, this patch actually turns back 1/3 of our human genome. So what that means is that 1/3 of us is becoming younger. We are literally in reverse aging, as opposed to just anti-aging. And that's because when you have that new stem cell and it's landing on that old tissue, it's going to turn that tissue young again. But it's so critical having stem cells that'll march and do all the things that keep you young, that the Journal of Medicine actually, the New England Journal of Medicine, actually determines that the amount of stem cells in your blood is what directly correlates to your wellness and your health. So that tells me, for example, with Beamy and her biological marker test, she's got gobs of stem cells in that blood, right? Because we're in those patches for 2 years. So the reason it's so important is because at 35, you're losing about 50% of your GHK copper peptide, and subsequently 50% of your stem cell activity. So that's when we really start declining. Around 35, you start to notice aches, pains, whatever. At 60, you're losing about 80%, and there's really not a lot left to go out and march and take care of you. So what you can expect on our patches are honestly A to Z, because once we give the body what it needs, the body just moves into homeostasis. But what our clinical studies really show is rapid pain relief, reduced inflammation. You're going to get supports of wound and healing, energy, vitality, mental clarity, your skin, all kinds of things. As a matter of fact, I love the timeline, and we have clinical studies backing this, which is at 6 weeks, your brain is balanced. That's left and right are talking to each other in that dance. That's PTSD, anxiety, depression. Gloria is already at 2 weeks, so it's working really fast for her. She's getting that anxiety already relieved. So that's at 6 weeks. 2 months, your heart's going to start becoming younger. 3 months, your collagen. That's why everybody on this call looks so young and beautiful. And at 6 months, this is what Beanie demonstrated. Your biological markers are going to start becoming younger, and on an average, 8 years younger every 6 months. So that's amazing. So our company, like I told you, it's LifeWave. It's headed up by David Schmidt. We're a 17-year-old company, and we have over 100 patents, 70 of those in regenerative science. So that is really the forefront of keeping us healthy and young and vital. And yes, of course, the X39 is patented also. We got that about a little over a year ago. So that's a 20-year patent. So we have the corner on the technology. And we distribute worldwide. We actually currently are in 81 different countries. So it's really great because we have the stability of an old company and the excitement and the revolutionary buzz of the stem cell activating patch, right? So really exciting times. So how do you get involved with this? Well, you're going to tell the person who invited you here, yes, I say yes, yes, yes to my health. And they're going to say, amazing, great choice. These are the different ways that you can do it. You can become a preferred customer. And what that means is that you get a monthly subscription once a month, and you actually get samples of our other supplemental patches. You'll do that for at least 6 months on that program. And you can enjoy the other patches, like I said. And so then other than that, you're going to do a kit. We have 5 different kits, and you just basically get in where you fit in. You know, the more you invest, the more your price point goes down. And we really like the silver kit. That can give you 3 months of X39. You can use one for yourself, one for your spouse or child, and then share one with all your loved ones. So you can find more information on startx39.com. It's a wealth of resources. You're going to find that reverse aging about GHK on there. You're going to find our clinical studies, how the light works, all kinds of testimonials. Again, that's startx39.com. So I invite you to go check that out. And other than that, we do this 4 nights a week, Monday through Thursday. And tomorrow night, you're going to have the pleasure of being hosted by Beanie. So please tune in, same time, 6 o'clock Pacific. And thank you so much for joining us this evening. Good night and take care.
Thank you.